for our viewers because the rupee too seems to have opened stronger at around 91.93, so it's per dollar, and the rupee now seems to be gaining versus the dollar because as far as the current situation is concerned, rupee Hina had recorded a big blow against the US dollar. If we speak on Monday, it was weakening past the 92.30 mark as global tensions rising. But even when it comes to a stronger US dollar and the continued selling by foreign investors in Indian equities also, does it also, Hina, add pressure on the currency?
Well, absolutely, because rupee, like other Asian currencies, was also, falling against the dollar. In fact, you're right. Yesterday, it had hit an all-time low. And today, we are seeing a breather in the currency markets as well. And there is a bit of calm that we are witnessing in the currency markets. Now, it's only a matter of time as to, what really happens next. Because when it comes to Trump, he's, there have been a lot of flip-flops that we have seen in his statements with regards to the operation in Iran that the U.S. is conducting along with Israel. So, any new statement can actually reverse all the gains that currency markets are making. So we'll have to be very, very careful of what's going to happen. But today, clearly, there is a bit of recovery. There is a sense of calm among investors that we are seeing right now.
All right, Hina, thank you for that update, because what it means that a stronger US dollar and a continued selling by foreign investors in Indian equities adds pressure on the currency, and a weaker rupee that makes imports more expensive for India, especially when it comes to commodities such as crude oil. However, there seems to be some relief that is now coming in across the world when it comes to the statement that has now been made by President Trump. So amid the raging war in the Middle East, oil prices that had surged past $100 per barrel, and this happened for the first time since 2022. Now, the global benchmark Brent crude touched an all-time high of $119.50 per barrel, and this is a spike of nearly 95% when compared to the prices at the start of the year. So let's get you the details, especially when it comes to this, very stark difference that is now being seen when it comes to the comparison of the prices within 2 months. So at the beginning of the year, on the 2nd of January, it stood at $60.05 per barrel. Came slightly down to $59.81 on the 7th of January, and a sharp spike that has been seen days after, a week into the war that we are looking at in the Middle East, where it went up to $119.50. So, however, when we speak of the Indian markets here, the concerns over the possible shortage of LPG supplies, and the government, however, has made it clear that when it comes to domestic consumption, that's going to be on the topmost priority, because there have been Bengaluru Hotel Association that has been earlier claiming that hotels would remain shut until commercial LPG supply stabilizes, but the association has now clarified, saying that some of the hotels will remain open. Taking stock of the situation, the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas also has issued this directive to oil refineries. Now, in the meantime, let's take a look as far as